paid search, kind of addressed that briefly about pay-per-click and the different AdWorks the ad network that shows up on the display when you're searching on Google on your mobile phone as opposed to your desktop. Location-based marketing, I put Foursquare in there, but there are others. Foursquare is basically the 800-pound gorilla. They're growing faster than Facebook ever did. Okay, and Foursquare, and we'll get into location-based services and what they are, and the mindset and the mentality behind that. Okay, apps, those are the things, the applications that you have on your phone, whether it's good, there are businesses that are using that, but applications are not for every business. They can be very expensive, and the difference being with a mobile website, designing it once, it will usually display properly across all the different devices, whereas an app will have to be designed for the different platforms. So, depending on where your market is, it's important to make sure that you do research to determine the demographic and what your demographic is using, bless you, as far as the phone device and type, because there's no need to spend the money for all 3 different platforms to build your application if all your consumers are using the app. Okay. 2D codes are QR codes. QR stands for quick response. These are those funky little barcodes that you're starting to see pop up all over the place that about 95% of the businesses are using them incorrectly. Okay, it's a great new gadget. It's a tool. It's fun. It's cool. It's hip, but it's not. They're not using it to its fullest potential, and two, an example being is that you'll scan the code and it'll take you to a regular website. Okay, you have to use a mobile phone in order to scan the QR code, so why wouldn't you take them to a mobile optimized site? Okay, or to a video or something that would really promote your brand as opposed to just a regular site. There's no point. You basically end up frustrating the consumer and they move on to the next. And it's not just the local businesses, the big brands do this. I'm staggered, but they do. So they really haven't jumped on the bandwagon. Okay, and mobile email, making sure that your emails are optimized properly to fit on a mobile phone. A lot of people send out these really nice newsletters and the templates and stuff, but a lot of times those can't be seen on a mobile phone. So you want to make sure that you really only have one shot to get people to open up that email. If they can't read it, they're going to delete it. Okay. Basically, still just kind of getting into the breakdown right now. As I mentioned, that Apple is not the #1 selling device out there when it comes to smartphones. Google or the Android phone. Okay, with all the different Androids that are out there, the different styles that they have. And there are some incredible devices. I saw one yesterday. The retinal display on it was one of the clearest images I've ever seen on a mobile device. It blew me away.
I read an article earlier today that, believe it or not, in Canada, which is where RIM, who makes BlackBerry is now the 2nd most popular phone in Canada. iPhone took over.
But yeah, and they're losing ground constantly. And it's just because of all the new gadgets and the features. But the BlackBerry is always going to appeal to the corporate mindset. Okay, it's just ingrained in them, and they're going to constantly use that. So we may see a shift in that, but it's important to understand this, especially this comes back to, and we talk about, you'll hear me use the term campaign a lot, mobile-enabled marketing, but campaigns. You don't want to just, when I say that the businesses are using QR codes incorrectly, is they're not using them in a campaign setting. They're just, this is something cool, it's new, it's a fad, I'm going to stick it on a flyer. Okay, without any mind to who they're trying to reach, what's their target, what are they trying to accomplish with this QR code? Are they tracking that QR code to find out how many people are even scanning it? And what is the end result of that? What action are you expecting people to take after they scan this QR code? So without paying no never mind to that, so it's important to make sure you do that. Having this in mind when you're determining who your target audience is and the people that you're trying to reach. Not everybody owns a smartphone. Okay, but now we're past the point of 50% penetration, which is nice, which means over 50% of people here in the United States that own cell phones now own smartphones. Okay. This is just kind of a breakdown on how people use their cell phones. 82% check and send email, 56% read news articles, 69% look up directions, listen to music, watch online videos. What's nice about watching the online videos, if you have a video that's on something like YouTube, that's hosted on YouTube, YouTube will automatically configure that video to play on whichever device is landing on it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about making sure that the videos that you are embedding on your web pages, or that your webmaster is embedding on your web pages, are optimized properly for every single phone to play. Okay, play online games. which was actually staggering to me as far as 39%. I expected that to be considerably higher. And since Angry Birds just released another version yesterday, I'm sure that stat's going to go through the roof. So, manage finances and bills, look up sports information, and use a social networking site. That's an important one. 63% of people that access social media and do so on a regular basis do so on their mobile phone. So if you have a social media campaign for your business, you want to make sure that you're focusing, that it's tailored to reach that mobile customer as well. If you have a link that goes back to a website or goes back to your website, the importance of having a mobile optimized site so that the viewer, when they click on that link and it goes to your site, you don't end up losing that individual because they're frustrated by the way the site looks on their mobile phone. Okay. Yes.
Speaking of that, I have an Android phone, and I clicked on links that'll bring me to like somebody's fan page on Facebook, but Facebook has yet to optimize.
They're starting to do. Everything's moving now. Yeah. What you're starting to see is that, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the battle between M.dot and .mobi and stuff like that. But you'll notice that it has an M.dot Facebook, and so they've moved everything into a mobile subdomain. So you should start seeing it render properly on your mobile phone.
Yeah, I know, like, the individual people pages and the events, those are all optimized for mobile. But I just noticed the fan pages are not, so maybe it will be soon.
Yeah, well, as of March 30th, everything switches now on the fan pages to where everything moves towards timeline. There's going to be a lot of unhappy business owners out there that paid a lot of money for their custom Facebook pages, and they're no longer going to work. None of that stuff is going to work anymore. So yeah, that's the problem. It's one of those things, and I'm sure it's been addressed when you guys have talked about social media. It's important to have they're great to use, but they are proprietary platforms, and they get to decide what they do with your accounts and what they do with your pages and what they do with the people that have liked or followed you or whatever. So you always want to make sure that you're building a list outside of those social media platforms, because one day Facebook could say, you know what, we don't like what you're doing, and they shut you down, and you lost 1,000 people that have liked your page, and you can no longer communicate with them. Yes?
I think that the deal with the links on Facebook, I think that it is a choice by Facebook to have when you click a link, it goes to the internet instead of going to the mobilely optimized site. I think that's just Facebook's choice in that, even if it is another Facebook page.
Yeah, everybody is still kind of scrambling to catch up with all the changes, and it's one of those things that for years they've been touting, this is the year of mobile marketing, this is the year of mobile marketing, and we're just kind of getting into it. Okay, we're still not completely there because, again, the smartphone usage and stuff, but these big companies are starting to scramble to get involved in it. So, to give you an idea why it's so important, Apple has said we are no longer a computer company, we are now a mobile company. Mobile first. Everything that you do is going to be based on the mobile platform. Google has said we are now a mobile company. Okay, the big boys are saying that this is the direction that everything's going. Okay, and so Facebook, there's a lot of things that Facebook, with all its blessings and the power behind it, what it can do for your business, still has a lot of problems. And now, there's that worrisome factor of, all the news reports that are coming out about privacy issues and things like that. So Google Plus has done a great job. I know Dale uses Google Plus quite a bit. Google Plus is basically was able to do a lot of things that Facebook didn't do, and they're now struggling to try and catch up and stuff. So you'll start seeing a lot of changes, and things will start happening faster on the mobile side of things with Facebook now. So. Again, 3 out of 5 searches perform local, okay, and that again comes from Google. Those are sources that Google puts out there, or stats that Google puts out there. 70% of all mobile searches are acted upon within the hour. So basically, if somebody is searching for something, if they're searching for an item and they're searching for a service, they take action right away on their mobile device. Whereas somebody who's searching for something on their computer will not necessarily take action right away. And it's important to understand that, and again, we'll talk about it a little more when we get into mobile websites, the difference between the consumer. The consumer who sits there at their desktop is taking their time, they're sitting back, they're searching through all the different information, they're comparing with different things. On a mobile phone, not necessarily. They're looking for certain information. They're looking for who you are, where you're at, how can I get a hold of you, what is it that you do. And that's really all they're looking for, and that's all that you really need to have on there. Okay. If they're looking for a particular service, you want to make sure that they can find you, and having the features that you can on a mobile website of a click to call or a click for directions, where you can just click a button and it ties in with Google Maps and gives you directions from where you're currently at on your standing, to give you directions directly to the place, which is very beneficial for any business that has any kind of service-oriented business. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, the 29% of consumers who use a smartphone to research a product while in retail stores doesn't necessarily reply here, but it's a good stat to really know about. That consumers are now actually going into stores and they're doing price comparison shopping while they're in the store. And there's a way that businesses can actually take advantage of that. And tap into those consumers, even though their product may not be as cheap as a person down the street. There are ways that they can tap into that mobile mindset so that they can actually sell their product to that consumer. Okay, and then this just kind of breaks down the demographic as far as how it kind of breaks down in those people that are using their smartphones for these type of things, local searches, text message marketing, things like that.
John?
This is an important one to notice, the 30 to 39 range. Yes?
Going back to search,
Uh-huh.
is there a way, I'm thinking about Baggins here, is there a way for somebody to think, well, what sandwich places have a special that I could, I'm hungry, it's 11:30, can you put in a search on what local places have a special on their sandwiches?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
But again, just like a regular website and having to do with optimization, you make sure that your mobile site is optimized to with keywords and for those search results. But a better way to really tap into that is to use the power of Foursquare and use the specials within Foursquare.
Oh, okay.
Because people in the area, they're going to be looking for something. When they go to check in, there's a little tag that shows up within the different businesses that are around there. It shows special. Now, a lot of people, when they use Foursquare, they think of the mayor bonus, and the person who checks in the most gets the mayor bonus, but you're missing out on so much more business because there's so many different things that you can use Foursquare for. You can have a first-time check-in special, you can have a multiple check-in special. They can get a special after they check in 3 times. They can get a special when they check in with 3 or more friends. You can actually do something to engage the consumer, and I have an example in here about that we did for a pizza place with Foursquare, is that have them take a napkin and make an origami creature out of it and stuff, and when they do that, then they get the special. So you've actually engaged the consumer a little bit more, and they actually have to do something in order to get the special. Okay, but it's something by using that. Now you can do that. You would have to constantly update your website and something like that to make sure for the different specials that are going on. But absolutely, you would just optimize that page. Just make sure it gets into the search engines. And now, because of the penetration, what Google is doing, and I'm sorry, I don't have a shot of it. I should have put it in here. Is the difference between I have a software program that basically gives me 2 different results. It'll show me the desktop search results and it'll show me the mobile results when I'm searching in Google, and they're not the same. Google is looking to serve up mobile optimized sites, but the stats kind of range, but 87 to 92% of businesses do not have a mobile optimized site. So Google, we're back in the days of in the 90s when the search engines had few and far between websites to serve up. It was just there wasn't really that much content out there for people to really get a hold of. Mobile is that way. We're kind of in that stage where we're out on the fringe and stuff, and we're starting bringing in these mobile sites, and Google is longing to serve up a mobile optimized site. So if your site is set up for Baggins and it's optimized properly, you'll show up in the search results before anybody else. And it's one of those things because Google adds weight to domain age. And if you have a mobile optimized site that's older than your competitors, maybe they come on board a year later, you're still going to receive a lot more of the love from Google than your competitor will because you've been out there a lot longer. So those are the kind of different options that you have. But really with Baggins, some things that this is where something like that text message marketing is ideal for. It's amazing what you can do, and I'll show some different examples of what you can do, but you're talking about being able to blast something out specifically. Say it's 11:30, it's around the time people are looking for lunch, and all of a sudden you get a text message and it's this incredible deal at Baggins. Oh, I got to go there and get my sandwich. But you hit it right at the time, and you couldn't do that before, but this is something where text message marketing is actually customers on demand. It's push button marketing, where you can actually, when you hit that send button, within just a few minutes, that message is going to be delivered to everybody on your list. And then you're able to, you can track those through, and we'll get into with the different types of text message marketing that you can do. But coupon codes, you can track them that way. You can send out barcodes send a link out in the text so it goes to one of those coupons that I mentioned on there where they have to come in and redeem it. And there's a barcode on there that if you have a scanner, you can actually scan that and put it into your system. So there's a lot of things you can do, but the texting is by far. Because, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but with the texting, email marketing open rates have dropped below the 20% mark now, nationwide. There are some people like Pam who puts out a great newsletter about all the upcoming events that probably has an open rate of 123%. But most businesses, unfortunately, the open rates have dropped down. And it's just, people are just saturated. It goes back to that invasive marketing. It's just all around us, and people are just tired of being marketed at. And you get email after email after email. And regardless of the spam can, or the canned spam laws that were put in place in 2003, we still get a lot of junk. I can't tell you how much I got this morning, and yet it's still there. However, with text message marketing, because everybody has to start from the beginning. Everybody has to begin building their list. You cannot go out and buy a list of mobile phone numbers. The penalties are very steep. You're looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 per infraction if you do it wrong. Everybody has to build their own list. And those are customers who are saying, yes, we want you to market to us. Yes, we want you to send us your specials. I mean, you can't get a better target audience than that. Okay, and like we said, people have their mobile phones with them at all times, so you're able to reach them. If you have a coffee house, you can send out something early in the morning to remind people, hey, pick up your free bagel and a cup of coffee when you come by this morning, things like that. And it does apply, and we can get into other examples on the specific types of business that you have, because text message marketing would work for pretty much any business that's out there, especially if it's service-oriented. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, again, this was just the overview of all the different tools, and we're going to kind of break down each tool right now and kind of show you. I kind of touched on each one, but I think it's important. But we're going to start this off with Dale's question on Facebook that she did. What is the difference between a mobile-friendly website and a mobile-optimized site? Does anybody know? Nobody? Because nobody answered it on Facebook either. So
I think I know, but
okay.
I think you could explain it better than I can.
Oh, go ahead and answer it though.
Well, a actually a site that's built just for the mobile phone is a completely different site. And you just see what you have to see to navigate. Whereas a mobile-friendly site, no, you
that's okay.
okay. You explain better.
The key word in here is flash. Okay, flash. Flash does not work on mobile phones. Okay, there are some, the newer phones that are coming out, they're starting to see some flashes working a little bit, but it's still not optimized properly. It's not working the way that it should be on mobile phones. So if you have a website that's not designed completely in flash, you're pretty much out of luck when somebody tries to visit it on a mobile phone. What they're going to see is a blank screen with a little cube in the middle and a question mark. That's all they're going to see. And that's not really going to help you out there. So, but the difference between the two, and I broke it down here, so a mobile-friendly site is a site that is viewable on a mobile phone. Okay. However, it's not, it's basically you're getting the whole site on the phone, and it's up to the consumer that has to pinch and zoom and search around and navigate for the information. It's a basic HTML website. Some WordPress sites that are out there will actually display okay on a mobile phone, but they really don't display it the way that you want to. But again, it's up to the consumer to try and find the information that they're looking for. And a lot of times people get frustrated. And they don't, if you've ever visited a site like that on your mobile phone, you get really frustrated having to zoom in and trying to find the information that you're looking for.
Well, most of them are that way.
Most of them are, and that's why, you know, the 87 to 92% where you'll see these. A mobile optimized site is one that's designed specifically to fit, now I put smartphones, but it's designed to fit on cell phones. The real estate on a cell phone is very limited. A lot of times the pixel width, now the cell phones are getting a little bit bigger, but you're looking at anywhere from 320 to 350 pixels wide. So it's very limited as far as the space that you have, so you want to make sure that you use that real estate properly and it's optimized properly. So by using it to where the sites that we make, they have kind of a stretch and fit feature, so it'll fit on any of the mobile devices that are out there, and then if you change the landscape up, it'll actually orientate within it. This is an example, if you can see this, of one of the sites that we took. This is a custom orthotics and running shoe store that we converted their site for them. This is what the website looks like right here. Normally, if you visit the website, and that's where you get in that pinch and that zoom and that stretch and trying to find the information where you're looking for, where now you have a mobile optimized site. And they're looking specifically for the information. So if they want to get a hold of them, you got a tap to call feature where you can actually touch the screen, or if you have, say, like a BlackBerry or some of the Palms in the Androids where they had a scroll or a trackball feature on there, it would scroll down and then you could just click on that and it'll open up the phone and begin ringing. Okay. The iPhone, if you touch it, it says, do you want to call this number? And it'll actually begin calling it. So you don't have to worry about memorizing phone numbers. You don't have to memorize saving it. Directions, again, tapping it, they can find exactly where that store is located. They don't have to worry about searching for it and then finding the address and then plugging that into Google Maps. It does it automatically off the website. Okay. So again, simplified. You know, when you look at what is it that you do, how do I get a hold of you? Okay, where are you located at? Important things that people are looking for on their phone. It's a different mindset than the person who's sitting behind their desktop computer. And every business is going to need this because, again, it's not up to us to how people access our websites anymore. It's now up to the consumer. So we want to make sure that we give them the most pleasurable experience, the most enjoyable experience, and the smoothest experience they can. Now, the way these are set up is there is actually a redirect code that's put on the main website, so when somebody lands on that with a mobile phone, it'll take them directly to the mobile site. Okay? And I should have put the web address on there. If any of you want to try that out to see that in action, it's simply feetaz.com. And that'll take you, it'll automatically detect that you're on the mobile device and send you to your mobile phone. Okay? And then you have ways to put that in the tracking code when you get into your analytics, so you can determine how many people actually came to your website on a mobile device and how many people were directed to this mobile site. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a lot of us have spent a lot of time and money on building our websites, and now to add on the mobile site, are we talking about a lot of money?
No. No.
Can you give us a ballpark?
I'll show that at the end, actually, if you guys want to see that. But there's options out there. There are very inexpensive. I had a gentleman contact me. They're up in Phoenix, and he was just, we charge a little bit more than what they do. But then he sent me a link to what one of their sites looked like. And I am a former comic book artist. I can't do ugly, and their sites are ugly. They're really, and they're very simplified. They're something that probably took them about 10 minutes to do because they dropped them into a program. How does that help your brand? You spend a lot of money on your websites and developing your websites to carry your brand forward. If you have something that's kind of garishly thrown together just because you're trying to appeal to the mobile user, that doesn't help your brand, and actually it's counterintuitive to that. Okay, so as you can see with this, we just carried everything over. We kept the same color scheme and everything, so when somebody knows that they're on the mobile site, they know that they're within the same. And that's one of those things that I'm sure has been talked about, your social media profiles, that you carry that across. Your Facebook page looks like your website, your Twitter page looks like your website, your YouTube channel. All those things look like. So when somebody lands on these different channels or these different presences, different presence of you on the web, your different footprint from your business, they still know that they're still with your company there. And the same thing applies to the mobile sites. A couple more examples. Here's one that we did for, this is an example of Flash. This right here, that video up there, the black with the cube and the question mark, that was a Flash video that's on their landing page. So when you land on it, you get this great video, but on a mobile phone, you won't see that. Okay, so what we did is we converted it. Now obviously the important things about an air conditioning company, they want to make sure that people get a hold of you. They want to know that you're a 24-hour emergency repair and click the call, you can get a hold of them right away. Instant quote, change the color scheme on that so people will click on that because that's what they want. They're looking for a way to get a hold of the insurance company and get a quote done. Okay.
So, excuse me, so with the Flash video, are you not converting it to sort of a YouTube format or anything on this? Are you abandoning video on the mobile altogether? On
theirs. Now we do have an example, and I'm sorry I did not put it on here, but you can, if you want to write down and see what we did with it, and I have to admit it's one of my favorite ones that we designed. Is for Creative Catering, or MJ over at Creative Catering. Their website is TucsonCreativeCatering.com, and if you go to that on your mobile phone, it'll automatically redirect you to the mobile site, and there's a link on there that says Our Videos, and you go on there and you'll see all of the YouTube videos they create are actually in the website.
Okay, but just
now,
not on the front.
That's right.
That's how you're handling it.
That's right, because again, when people land on it, they're looking for specific information. They're not necessarily looking for a video that they can watch. Now, if you have a video, what you would do is just lead them to that video somewhere off the main landing page. But what you don't want to do is have a YouTube video and have them click on that and take them to YouTube, okay? Because you're going to lose them. Okay, and again, ADHD. I see another video. I'm going to watch that one. I'm going to watch it, and good luck getting back to where I was at. Okay, and sadly, our society has become that way. We're an ADHD society, and they're looking for, you're going to lose them. And so, what you want to do, there's a way to embed the videos that are still on YouTube within the mobile. On the mobile website, where if they click on that, it'll open up in YouTube, but then it immediately takes them right back to your website, so you don't lose them. Okay, and it's an important feature to have on there. So it is a good question because you spend a lot of money and a lot of time putting these videos together, and you still want to have that out there. But again, it's a different mindset. Remember, we're trying to tap into the people that are on the go. Think of the person that's sitting at their desktop. They're usually leaning back in their chair and sitting, got their cup of coffee and stuff. Now think of the individual that's on the steps of, say, the courthouse, and they're trying to find some information. Okay, they're not really looking for that video, they're not looking for all those things. But still have it available on your site, but deeper within it. Okay? And one more example, 9 to 5 Auto Detail. We took, it's a nice looking site, but unfortunately, again, having a regular website on a mobile phone is just too much information, it's too small and everything. So taking everything and setting it up in a way so that people can get a hold of it and find the information that they're looking for. Okay? Oh, again, this is kind of shifted. So this is actually an image that I use in some of the flyers that we put out there to the businesses is, how does your website look on a mobile device? And I just love that look on her face, like, you know, how am I supposed to see what this is? But looking for local information is done virtually all smartphone users and consumers are ready to act. And we had talked about that before, that within an hour they're going to take action on the information they find on their mobile phone. 95% of smartphone users have looked for local information, and again with 3 out of 5. I want to keep hammering that home and really stress that because that's only going to increase. That 3 out of 5 searches are for local businesses and local services and local products. Okay. 88% take action, 77% contact the business within 61. Those are, that doesn't even read right. So sorry about that. The last one is important to understand. 60%, and actually it's a little bit over that, of visitors who visit a non-mobile optimized site will not be back. Okay, and that's just, those are stats that were put out by eMarketer, and it's backed up by a lot of other marketing. So Nielsen did a similar survey to find out, and that's something, can you as a business owner afford to lose 60% of the people that are searching for you? Okay, and it's something, it's an important thing to think about. Okay, goodness. Okay, sorry about that. SMS and MMS. Okay, SMS, short message servicing, or text message marketing. Okay, and that's something that you can send out, you know, text alerts, discounts. I mentioned in Mike that we're working with some churches, so we send out daily devotionals, we send out, you know, scripture readings, upcoming events, things like that that we can send. So if you have a business, you know, that has to do with, you know, like wedding planning and stuff like that, you can send out announcements for upcoming events and things like that that are coming out, new products that are available, new services and things like that. Okay. The most common phone-based activity that people use their phone is for text message marketing, and the reason being is because all phones that go back, you know, basically, I'd say 5 to 6 years ago, if we go back that far, all of those phones have the capability of text message marketing. You don't have to have a smartphone in order to get text messages or to send text messages. And that's why it's so appealing to all business owners. You don't have to worry about the smartphone penetration, whether you need to have an app developed for your business or not, whether they can see your video on their phone. But text message marketing works, and it works great. Okay, and it works on all phones. Some of the stats, some of the people that are using American Idol, obviously I've never seen the show, but a lot of people watch it obviously, and they vote through their cell phones. Okay, and they were one of the first to actually roll out the text message voting, where you could vote in, and there was a premium charge on that. They would charge you for the voting, and you'd get to determine, I guess, who got voted off or something. Top Chef, a show that my wife absolutely loves, and they do a text voting. And actually, they started using QR codes on their show. So actually, down in the corner, there's a QR code on the television screen, so you can scan and get some videos and updates and things like that. The American Red Cross, this is amazing. Text message marketing is an ideal thing for anybody who works with charities or knows somebody who works with charities. Text message marketing is one of those ideal services that has come along for charities because it allows them to stay in touch with their donors in a way that they couldn't before. Donors want to know what's happening with the charity. They want to know what's going on, and it's a way for them to not only keep them updated with what's happening, but also tap into that emotional giving. When they're holding banquets and they want people to write a check, there's a way that you can actually get people to text to donate, which is what the American Red Cross did during the 2010 Haiti earthquake, and they raised over $3 million in 72 hours. So just amazing. That's never happened before with the text to donate feature that's on there. So again, something to keep in mind, anybody who knows anybody having to do with charities, or if you work in a charity, it's something to really seriously consider. Used by Fox News, Drudge, ABC, NBC, all the services that are out there. Through their applications, they send out push notifications or text alerts and things like that.
It's even done on the local level pretty extensively too, but it's more in the bigger cities.
What's that?
Like some of the news alerts and so forth.
Well, with the news alerts, depending on the business.
Yeah.
The text message marketing we use a lot, especially here in town. We have a lot of businesses that are actually using it right now. And like I said, with churches where churches were thinking about designing an app, and again, it's very expensive to design an app, there's really no reason to do that when you can do that through, you know, having a mobile optimized site that gets updated and people can find the stuff, and then sending out text alerts to people to let them know what's happening. It's used by doctors and dentists and anybody in the service oriented to remind people of appointments. So, and they're actually, the studies with the senior citizens are now using their cell phones in ways. And actually that's how my mom communicates with me now, is via text. She doesn't even call me anymore, but it's all via text. They receive their alerts, their medications, and their alerts for their appointments via text message. And it's a way, it's actually cut down and saved doctors and dentists and anybody within that, chiropractors, a lot of money, because they don't have to hire the staff or pay for the staff to make the phone calls to remind people of their appointments. They can actually do so via text message, and then people can respond via text message and let them know whether they're going to make it or not. Okay, and airlines and other services to keep people updated on their flights and stuff. Those are the same stats. I'm sorry, I don't know why that's there. These are some of the different types of campaigns that are available. Now, through my company, we have our own platform that we send out the text messages, through. Okay, so we have our own what's called a short code, and to kind of explain, a 10-digit phone number is basically a long code. It's a long phone number. It is something that you can use for text message marketing, but what you'll see is dedicated short codes or shared short codes of 5 to 6 digits, where in our case, our short code number is 37619. You can get a demonstration if you haven't opted into any text message marketing campaigns by texting mobile guy to 37619, and you'll get an immediate response to that. And, don't worry, we're not going to, hit you with all kinds of marketing messages and stuff like that, but it's a great way to kind of get an idea of how this service works and how it can kind of work for your business as well. Okay. There is a way, now it's important to understand there was a company, it was about 1.5 years ago, they got in touch with me. They were just coming into town. I don't know if they're still here. They were, oh shoot, their name will come to me. But basically what they were doing is they were offering a service where they would offer unlimited text messages for one low fee. And that basically you could have unlimited numbers and unlimited text messages, and there wouldn't be any fee, and it's no big deal. And basically what they were doing is, it was actually kind of an underhanded way. Bless you. They were delivering their text messages. There's 2 different ways to do it. You could do it through the direct channels through the carriers, and then also through the SMTP channel, which is basically a backdoor that's set up by the carriers, and it's a way to kind of send email, kind of a text-to-email type feature. The carriers do not charge for those kind of things, so what happens is when they find out that a lot of text messages are coming through that channel, they end up shutting that channel down, and it's the business owner that's left holding the bag. And because they're not doing it properly, without having the important opt-out messages and things like that at the tail end, they end up finding themselves in a situation where they could receive some stiff penalties because they're not doing it properly. Okay, not trying to scare anybody off the text message marketing, it's just one of those things that the email marketing got away from us. Even with the laws that were put in place, it still got away from us. So the whole marketing association decided they would set these rules and these boundaries in accordance with the different carriers. Because the carriers, most people are paying for these text messages. Not everybody has an unlimited data plan, so they're paying for text message. And the carriers know if they start receiving, an individual starts receiving a lot of unwanted messages, they're going to switch carriers. Okay, so there's dollars and cents involved here, which wasn't there with the email campaigns. So they know it's very important that they shut this down. They shut this down right away. It's one of those things that basically you just need to make sure that it's 100% opt-in, that everybody has joined your list, that they willingly did so, and that every single message that goes out has an opt-out message at the end. That basically, in our case, it'll say, like if you join this, it would say text mobile guys stop to quit. And it'll take you out of the list. It'll automatically take you out. So that message has to be on the back end. Of every single message. These are the different types that we have, and these are actually some of the different services through the platform that we have. You have text for info, which is basically, that's the standard one that's out there. It's just like I said, if you text mobile guy to 37619, you'll get a welcome message back. Just, hey, thanks for joining our mobile club. If you were a business like Baggins, join our mobile club and get $5 off, not $5 off, that's a whole sandwich, but basically, get, a drink for free or something like that. You don't want to give away the farm, but doing something to entice them to hand over their cell phone number, basically, to you. So you're doing something to encourage them to opt in, basically what I used to like calling, and I called it with the offline marketing stuff, with email marketing, an ethical bribe. You're basically saying, here, I'm going to bribe you to give me your phone number. But now, depending on the business, you don't necessarily need to have that. There's a pizza place out in Sabino Canyon that he doesn't give anything away. He just tells people, hey, join my mobile club for special deals and discounts, and it exploded. He had 200 people the first night on his list. It was because he sent it out through the email, and he put the flyers out in his business, and everybody just started opting in for these special deals and discounts. He actually runs 3 different campaigns because he has a lot of high schools in the area. So he has a teen club, or a student club is what he calls it. The student club, he has the bar, because he has a full bar there, so he has the bar club, and then he also has the regular family pizza. So he can actually segregate his marketing messages to these 3 different lists. Okay, and again, he gives nothing away. And there's a Twist and Shout Diner down in Green Valley. They don't give anything away either. He's like, I know my customers. I'm not giving them anything. And everybody joined, just for the specials and the deals. He's able to do things where he has prime rib on Saturday night, and he has leftover prime rib. He's able to blast out Sunday morning saying, hey, we got some prime rib left over, open-faced prime rib sandwiches for this. Come and get yours while they, supplies last kind of thing. And it drives traffic in on Sunday morning, which is normally a slow day for him.